Okay. Okay, now I should be starting the recording, but that's okay. Okay, hello, welcome to week 8. Okay, we are gonna get started. Because, okay, this one, it's not really that hard, but people tend to do this incorrectly. So the first question is, uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh no. Okay. Okay. I guess we won't be changing colors. Okay, the first question is, can I reduce the 12 and the 9? The answer is no. Okay, that is the most common mistake right there, is to just start reducing. So remember, 5 plus 2 over 5. Can I reduce the 5 and the 2, the 5 and the 5? No, this is 7/5. If I reduced those, I would just get 2. So if numbers are separated by a plus or a minus, no, you cannot reduce. They must be separated by multiplication. So if I have 6 over 8, I rewrite that as 2 times 3 and 2 times 4. When they're separated by multiplication, yes, you reduce. When they're separated by addition and subtraction, no. Okay, so this top, I'm not going to talk about how to factor. If you want to see how to factor, stick around and we'll do it more slowly. So this factors into, oh my gosh, now I can't see it. A plus 3, I should have just done it, and A plus 2. The bottom, difference of 2 squares, A plus 3, A minus 3. Okay, if you're not sure how to factor, stick around. We could do it at the end. Okay, now, so step 1 is factor. Step 2 is cancel BFFs. Okay, this right here became a BFF. The 2 is a singleton. So we cancel singles and BFFs. Okay, that word is cancel. That looks like, there we go. So we cancel BFFs, one on the top, one on the bottom, and we get 2, A plus 2 over A minus 3. Okay, factor the top and the bottom, completely cancel the BFFs. 2 steps. Okay, so the top, let's go ahead and make a diamond. 2 numbers that multiply to get -8 and add to get -2. So we're going to have negative, positive 4 and -2. Oh, my bad. -4 and +2. Okay, so R minus 4, R plus 2. Okay, the bottom has 4 terms. What do I do? I'm stuck. Can't do a diamond. What? Ding, ding, ding. Keyword box. Okay, let's just go for the box. Notice, how many terms do I have? 4. How many spots in my box? 4. So you look at it and you think, you panic. You're like, oh my gosh, that doesn't have a GCF. I don't know what to do. And then you're like, oh, she's always talking about the box, the box, the box. Let's just do the box. R cubed minus 2R squared minus 4R plus 8. Okay, what is the GCF of the top row? Okay, so we're going to have R squared. Now, what is going to go on top? R squared times what gives me R cubed? Just R. All right. So we got to have R squared times R squared times -2, R times -4, and then -4 times -2 is +8. So we're going to have R squared minus 4 and R minus 2. Okay, and we're going to put it up here. But what do you notice about this right here? Okay, so we're going to factor that again. So we're going to have R plus 2, R minus 2, and bring down the R minus 2. Okay, you with me? How are we doing, Zoomers? So factor the top. We're going to write R plus 2, R minus 2, R minus 2. Factor the top. Step number 2 is cancel. Cancel the BFFs. So I have R minus 4. And on the bottom, R minus 2 squared. Okay, so let's go back and look at the directions. Simplify. Okay, that's what we did. But the directions also say something else. Oh, quick question. Can I cancel those R's? No. Okay, not if they're separated by a plus or a minus. Can I cancel the 4 and the 2? No. Okay, so what does this say? State the excluded values. Okay, so state the excluded values. We go back up to, let's see. Okay, we go back up to here and we state the excluded values. Okay, so go away. No. Okay, sorry, still getting used to this new. Okay, now I want that to go away. Okay, so I have A cannot equal. So go back up to before we canceled. Okay, excluded values must always go back to pre-canceling. Okay, so A cannot equal -3. Do you see where I got that? And +3. So the directions, now, a lot of these problems look very similar. You need to know what directions apply to what concept. Yeah, so it said simplify, state the excluded values, go back up to pre-canceling. Okay, so number 2, and now that's going to be there forever. Okay, getting better at this. Okay, go away. And okay, so go back up to so the excluded values are cannot equal -2 or +2. You go back up to pre-canceling. Okay, simplify. In order to add fractions, you must have same denominator. Okay, but I do have the same denominator. So I can add these. So we combine, the denominator slides together. And I'm going to combine like terms. Okay. So add the fractions, combine like terms. Add the tops. Combine like terms. Now we're going to factor and try to cancel. Okay. So the top, how can I factor the top? Oh, careful. It's not a perfect square, right? Okay. So we're going to GCF, factor out the 4. Okay, at the bottom, I'm going to GCF factor out 4r squared. So 20 divided by 4 is 5. R cubed divided by r squared is r plus what? 1. Cancel the 4's. So I have r minus 1 over r squared 5r plus 1. So add the tops, combine like terms, factor, and cancel. Hello. Notice I can cancel singles. Singles with singles, BFFs with BFFs. Okay? Singles with singles, BFFs with BFFs. Okay, number 4. Simplify, no radicals in the basement. So I multiply. Now, whatever I multiply by needs to be a form of 1. So it needs to be the same thing on the top as it is on the bottom. So what's going to go inside the square root sign? 3? All right. So rad 3 over rad 3. That is going to get rid of the square root on the bottom. Okay, simplify. Work ahead of me. So the top, we have 5 rad 3. Now, we have rad 3 times itself. The squared cancels the square root. This comes out as a 3. Yeah? Or you could say rad 3 times rad 3 is rad 9, comes out as a 3. So does everyone see that that's a 12 on the bottom? Okay, so now the big question is, can I cancel an inside 3 and an outside 12? No? This one's done. Okay. This one is end behavior. You're going to use the chart. This one's on your own. Okay, when you come in person to take the test, I will hand you actually a formula sheet, and I will hand you a chart of factors and an end behavior chart. If I forget to give one of those to you, you can remind me. Okay, so the chart of factors has an end behavior chart stapled to the back? Yeah. So at 12-ish, I need to go to lunch. So you need to be done by 12. Okay. And then it'll start back at 1. So, yeah. Okay. So you're going to do that one on your own or stick around and we'll do it at the end. Okay. Polynomial. Yeah. These are the solutions or zeros. So if the 0 is -5, the factor is x plus 5. Yeah, we're doing the opposite sign. So if the 0 is -2, the factor is x plus 2. If the 0 is +3, the factor is x minus 3. Yeah, step 1, we take the zeros and we make them into factors. Okay. Step 2 is we multiply. Okay, so I'm going to start by multiplying these two. Now, I'm not going to go through, you're going to make a box, right? And you're going to multiply. So if you want to see how I get this, stick around and we can do that more slowly. Okay, so I made a box and I multiplied and then I bring down the x minus 3. You with me? Okay, what do I need to do next? The big box. Yeah? Okay, remember multiplication is commutative. I could change this order. So I like my box to be 2 by 3. So x minus 3, x squared plus 7x plus 10. Okay, so you just go from zeros to factors, multiply 2 of them together, make a small box, and then multiply the remaining ones with a big box. So fill in the box, work ahead of me. It's always best to try to work ahead of your math teacher in all your future math classes. Okay, top row. Now, if you're not sure about this box, stick around. We can talk through it at the end. So we multiplied the 2 together with a little box. We multiplied the big box. Next step is, all right, combine like terms. So the answer is x cubed plus 4x squared minus 11x minus 30. Yeah? Okay. When the first time you saw that, did you just think like, oh my gosh, I will never be able to do that? Yeah, a little. And then you're like, okay, it's really not that bad. So sometimes math is that way. The more you see, the first time you see it, you might freak out. And then you practice it a couple times and it gets better. Or practice it a dozen times. Okay. That's funny. These are different. Okay. Now, find all zeros. It'd be nice if we could factor. If you make a diamond and test it, this is not factorable. So I can't change colors. I can't use my magic little white out. We're just going to put a 0 there. find all zeros. If we can't factor, what's our next choice? The what? Quadratic formula? Okay. Here's the quadratic formula. Oh, I just realized. No. No. There's my pens. Wow, I have to do that every time. Okay, I do have pens. Okay, so let's do this. X, plug it in. -6 squared with parentheses. Okay, plug it in, check your answer with mine. Calculators. Okay. Oh, wait, I have my pens. Okay. Start with the discriminant. Yeah, that's what you do next. Okay, so plug that in and see if you get 108. Yeah. If you forget those parentheses around the -6, you will not get 108. Okay, and we know the difference between the negative on the calculator and the minus. Okay, I'm gonna have to simplify 108, and it's bigger than the chart of factors. It's barely bigger than the chart of factors. I'm so bummed. Okay, 108. So here's our perfect squares. So I'm starting with the biggest and working my way up. 108, what is the biggest perfect square that will go into 108? Is it 9? Actually, I don't know. Oh, okay, let's work our way up. So let's try 108 divided by 49. Nope. 108 divided by 36. That's a yes. Yeah, can you see 108 divided by 36 gave me a yes? Okay, so this is 36 and 3. Okay, so I'm going to start with the biggest and work my way up. Yes, 9 goes into it, but I want the biggest perfect square and the leftovers. So this simplifies to 6 rad 3.
Yeah, because I was confused and I was reading the packet thingy last week.
I hate that part. Like, I just want to be done right here.
Because
It really bugs me to have to simplify one more tiny little step, but we do. Okay, so let's look at 6, 6, and 4. They all have a GCF. So what can go into 6, 6, and 4? Okay, notice we're not looking at anything inside a square root. So we're going to factor out a 2. 3 plus or minus 3 rad 3 over 2 times 2. So we have 3 plus or minus 3 rad 3 over 2. Okay, so if you're coming to take the in-person exam, the quadratic formula one is multiple choice. You're going to show your work. You're not just going to guess, oh, that one looks good. You're going to show your steps. And then once you get to this point, it should match the answer. But you know that I'm mean. And when I do multiple choice, there's like 10. So it's not like, ding, guess the right answer. Show your work, select the answer. Okay, number 8. Okay, how we feel about this one? Do we hate it or it's not that bad anymore? Not that bad? Okay. How we doing, Zoomers? You hanging in there? You with me?
Oh, was it the bounce?
Yes, this is the bounce one. Okay, so y equals a. So one of its zeros is x equals -4. If -4 is the zero, the factor is x plus 4. And we notice that at x equals -4, the graph bounces. So just look, if I were to zoom in, and I can't zoom in anymore. So just zoom into this one little spot. Can you see that it looks like a parabola? Okay, I have a bounce right there. So if it's a bounce, what do I need to do on my equation? Okay, so this is squared. Okay, and what is the other one? So we have x equals -4 and x equals +1. So that's x -1, right? So 1 is a bounce, you have to put an exponent of 2. Okay, so I'm not done. So I have y equals a x plus 4 squared, x minus 1. I need to plug something in to get rid of the a. Let's pretend I didn't tell you at the top. Okay, so see that point right there? That is the point. Zero, 4. So I'm going to plug in 0, 4. So y is 4. And I love plugging in 0. There's other points I could plug in. Nah. Now don't plug in one of the x-intercepts because that will just collapse. Okay, so 0 plus 4 is 4. 0 minus 1 is -1. So I have 4 is equal to -16a. Yeah? So a is equal to -1/4. Or you could also say -0.25. In general, we'd stay with fractions, but this one, we could say -0.25. So here's my graph. -0.25 x plus 4 squared x minus 1. There you go. Not as bad as you thought the first time. Okay. Number 9. What do we notice? Do we see that we are adding or multiplying? Can everyone see that we're multiplying? And we need the multiplier. And I'll be right back. Okay, what is that multiplier? Okay, so 6. So notice I begin with 2. So then it says 2 times 6. Then this is 2 times 6 times 6 again. So let's check that. 2 times 6 is 12. 12 times 6 is 72. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to write that 2 times 6 squared. Yeah. Are we good? Okay. This is 2 times 6 again. So there's only 1, 2, but it's 6 times 6 times 6. So try this with the calculator. 2 times 6 cubed. 2 times 6 exponent 3. And you should get 432. Okay, okay, we're kind of getting the idea. 2 times 6 to the 4th, 2 times 6 to the 5th. Okay. So notice the 2 does not change. The 6 does not change. What is it? So 2 does not change. 6 does not change. Where do I put my variable? What is varying? What is changing? The exponent. Okay, so notice it got really big really fast. Exponential equations get really big really fast. How about this one? What do you notice? The first question you're asking yourself is, am I adding the same number or multiplying the same number? Okay, so these are called first level differences. And I notice for each one, I'm adding how much? 5. Check the left side, the X's, and these are 1s. Okay. So if I'm adding each time, then this equation, is it an exponential? Is it a quadratic? Is it linear? Yeah, what do you think, Zoomers? This is linear. Okay, so I'm just going to tell you, if you come in to take the test, there's one exponential and there's one linear. There's a quadratic, but that one's the extra credit one. Okay, so I need M and I need B. Okay, M is, we're going to say for right now, 5/1. Yeah, change in Y over change in X. These are my X's, these are my Y's. Okay, how am I going to find B? Okay, right there, right? The 0 term. The y-intercept happens when x equals 0. So the y-intercept is -3. Y equals 5x minus 3. Okay, moving on. Number 11. State the possible rational zeros. Okay, this is multiple choice, so let's get a help, right? When you come in to take the test. But possible rational zeros, I don't even know where to start. Possible rational zeros, what is kind of like the little category of what I'm doing? Possible rational zeros. Possible. Ding, 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 ding. This is the P one. Okay. So in your head, you're like, yeah. Remember what she kept going? Possible rational zeros. This is the P's over Q's. Okay, so this is the P's over Q's. Okay, now what goes, so we're pretty much ignoring those ones at the moment. What goes on top? Does the first number go on top or the last number? Okay, so this is the P's and this is the Q's. So the P's, we need all the factors of -3. So we have okay, we're just gonna do it this way. ±1 ±3. Now, can you see how this problem would be laborious if that was like 48? Yeah, ±1, ±2, ±3, ±4, ±6, ±8, ±12. Okay, but 3 is not that bad. And then we have factors of 2. So we have ±1 ±2. Okay, so now it's time for handshakes. Okay, so everyone from the factors of -3 family shake hands with everyone from the factors of 2 family. Okay, so we're going to shake hands. So shake hands, that's really fat. Shake hands. So when I shook hands, I get plus or minus, there's a fraction, 1/1 is 1. Yeah. And then plus or minus 1/2 is 1/2. When the red guy shook hands with the red arrows, I got 1/1 is 1 and 1/2 is 1/2. Okay. Now, blue guy shakes hands with everyone in that family. So that's going to give me 3/1 as a fraction and 3/2. So factors of the P's, factors of the Q's, P's over Q's they shake hands and they make fractions. Now you're just thinking, this is the weirdest thing. Okay, if you're taking the next math class, it helps to narrow down what are the possible rational zeros. Okay, now the next step would be plug these in and see which ones work. We're just kind of getting the engines revving and we're not going that far. We're just kind of your next math class, you will actually do that when you take math analysis or pre-calc next year. Not with me, because we don't offer it here. Because yeah, if you have a strong grade in advanced algebra, you can go to pre-calc. Just yeah, it's so math analysis. It's just a little bit. I don't know, it depends on the school. So yes. And then there's honors pre-calc, regular pre-calc. Okay, anyway, long division. Okay, hate this one, but we're going to do it anyway. So b plus 7 into b cubed minus 3b squared minus 67b plus 23. Step 1, make it match. So I'm going to put b cubed right there. And when I change the signs and subtract, poof, it's going to go away. It's going to feel shorter than this review session. This review session also has the future stuff that's not on this exam. Okay, so it's going to feel, I don't think it's that bad. Okay, so up here, what times b equals b cubed? Okay. No, no, no. Come on. Okay. B squared, right? B squared times B is B cubed. Let's get a go right there. Positive 7B squared.
And over subtract. I'm so used to
Next.
adding.
So don't think negative yet. Okay, so are we good so far? Okay, change pens. Subtract, change both signs. Okay, step 1, make it match. Step 2, multiply. Step 3, change signs and subtract. Poof. Okay, I just removed a layer. I removed the cubic layer. So what goes right there? Okay, negative 10b squared. And what goes right here? Okay, we're going to bring this down. Negative 67b. Okay, make it match, multiply. Change signs and subtract. And then bring it down and start all over again. Yeah? Everyone do the next step. Okay, make it match. So up here, we need negative 10b. Multiply. Negative 10b times b is negative 10b squared. Negative 10b times 7 is negative 70b. Next step. Change the signs and subtract, but we're really adding down. Changing the signs means we're subtracting, but we're adding down. Okay, poof. So what goes right here? 3b. And bring down the 23. Make it match. So I need a 3. 3 times b is 3b. 3 times 7 is 21. Change signs and subtract or add down. Positive 2. So this is remainder 2. Or sometimes you'll see 2 over this thing right here. Or remainder 2. Okay, 13, synthetic division. Yay, this is everyone's favorite. So we're going to put the coefficients. Wow, this one's huge. Notice end of the fourth, end of the third, end of the second, end of the first linear term. There's no gaps. If there was a gap, you would have to put a 0. Okay, what goes in the box? All right, -9. It is actually the 0, not the factor. Step 1 is what? Okay, bring it down. Multiply, add, multiply, add, multiply, add, multiply, add. So multiply, what goes here? -81. What goes here? -8. Multiply. Add. Multiply. Yeah? Add. Multiply. Add. Okay. So what's the result? 9, what? N to the third power, right? Because the whole point of division is to bring it down a level. Minus 8n squared minus 7n plus 3. This is the remainder. Now, if that's a 0, there's no remainder. I'm going to put it in fraction form because that's the most difficult one. Over, what goes on the bottom? M plus 9. Kind of like you're dividing to change an improper fraction into a mixed number. Okay. Something just moved. Um, okay. No. Okay, this is on your own. Number 16, graph. So we are going to sketch in, oh, first of all, parent. What's the parent graph look like? So it's 1 over x, so it looks like the intersection. Step 2, what does the shift look like? Okay, I was going to do the left right one. So 1 to the left and 1 down. But yeah, you could do down and to the left. Yeah, we see where those come from. This is opposite. This is same. Okay, so we are going to sketch the asymptotes. Sketch the asymptotes. So we have 1 to the left and 1 down. 1 to the left, 1 down. and draw a graph. So the pink lines are the asymptotes. They are not part of the graph. You could, in some instances, erase them, but we're going to leave them. Okay, number 17. How is 17 different from 16? It's a negative. So the parent is flipped. It's good to put that. Otherwise, you get to the end. I personally forget to flip it. Okay, so we write the parent, so we remember to flip it. Shift. Okay, so +1, which means it's going to the right. +2, which means it's going up. Draw the asymptotes. 1 to the right and 2 up. Okay, those are the asymptotes. Next, sketch the graph. And remember that it has a negative in front, so it has been flipped. Okay, we're hurrying on that one. Let me guess, this is why you're all here. This one's hard.
I actually memorized this book.
Yay. Okay, now this one is a little harder because it is a y squared. The one on the test is an x squared. Okay, this one's a little harder, but I'll tell you the one you do in person on the test is a y squared. Okay, so parent graph. You know what? Let's change it. I want to do an x squared because that's what the ones on the test is going to look like. So if you want to see this one, you can look at last year's video. Let's change it. Okay, now let's see if I can get to the formulas. How do you use these formulas? Notice x squared is going to be up or down. So, and we're going to decide in just a sec. That 4 is in the formula. Okay, so the 4 is over here with the y. And to get p, we're going to divide by 4. Okay, so, no, wait, that's not what I meant. Okay, so the parent, since this is positive and this is squared, it is a u going up. Next step, vertex. What's the vertex? Opposite, -2, opposite, -1. Okay, now I need to solve for p. So you write the equation 4p is equal to whatever that number is right there, 4. Ah, thank you, Nate. Nice catch. -2, -1. Okay, whatever this number is, you divide it by 4. P is equal to 1. Okay, this is where it gets a little confusing. I know that the graph looks like this. Therefore, here's the vertex. Yeah, -2, -1. Where am I going to find the focus? It's above, right? It's hugging. So if this is -2, -1, the focus, can you see that the x coordinate of the focus is not changing? What's changing if it's above the y? Okay, and we see that P is 1. So I'm going to add 1 to the x or y, the y value of the vertex. Okay, so the focus, I'm going to take the vertex and add 1. -2, 0. Okay, there's something called the directrix. The directrix is this line right here. And we can see that it's a y equals you go back to the y value. And now instead of adding 1, you subtract 1. So y equals -2. So look at that. The focus is 1 above. The directrix is 1 below. The parabola hugs the focus, has its back to the directrix. Okay, that's it for that one. Number 19. Okay, we are not doing the new material. Okay, I don't think. Oh, the new material. Okay, coming soon. Starting next week, you will need to add expressions that do not have a common denominator, but we're not messing with that this week. I think in previous years, I tried to tackle that on this week, but we're just focusing on reviewing for the test. Okay, write the vertex form equation of the parabola. 2 ways to do it. One, complete the square, and the other is use the formula. What? Oh, we don't have to find the quadratic formula. It's easier than that. Oh, we could, if we tried to factor, we would get the x-intercepts. How can we find the x coordinate of the vertex? See, here's the hardest part. You see a problem, the hardest part is knowing where to begin. Negative b over 2a. Yeah? Okay, so x is -8 over 2, x is -4. That gives me the x coordinate of the vertex. So how do I find the y coordinate? Plug it in. So y is equal to -4 squared plus 8 times -4 plus 26. Should have stapled this. Anyway, I guess I'll have to do it. Which is 16 minus 32 plus 26. Negative 16 plus 26, positive 10. So the vertex is negative 4, positive 10. Okay, if you're going to take math analysis next year, pre-calc, you should also know there's another way to do it. Okay. Y equals, we're going to complete the square. The 8, what do I do to the 8 to go into here? Divide by 2. So this is 4. But because if I were to FOIL that out, a 16 would appear. I subtract 16 from the end. But people like this one. People don't like this one. Can you see that this is y equals x plus 4 squared plus 10? Yeah. Can we see that the vertex is negative 4, positive 10? Agrees. Now, some people think that's less work. As long as this is even and you can easily divide it by 2. Okay, if it's odd, or I'll give you a hint. If there's a coefficient in front of this number right here, just use x equals negative b over 2a. It gets complicated. Okay, write the equation in standard form. You're just going to FOIL it, distribute the 3 combined like terms. You can skip. We're going to do these because I still have people not confident in their factoring. Step 1 is what? Is what? That is step 2. Step 1 is, that is step 3. Okay, there's a GCF. Yeah. So step 1 is factor out the x. Okay. Step 2 is rainbow. 7 times 4 is 28. That's horrible. Okay, next step. Diamond. I need 2 numbers that multiply to get 28 and add to get 16. So we look at the chart of factors. 14 and 2. Okay, don't forget that x. That x is gonna come back later. We're gonna ignore it for right now and make a box. So 16x splits into 14x and 2x. Okay, factor out the GCF, which is 7x. 7x times x, 7x squared. 7x times 2 is 14x, and x times 2 is 2x, and 2 times 2 is 4. So final answer, x, 7x plus 2, and x plus 2. Are we getting better? Rainbow diamond box. If you're not sure about rainbow diamond box, stick around. We'll do it again. Okay. 22, what's the first step? Is there a GCF? There's not a GCF. Okay, rainbow. 16 times 25. Whoa, 400. And negative 40 on the bottom. Okay, I am stuck. I cannot think. It's not on my chart of factors. I'm stuck. I cannot think of two numbers that multiply to get 400 and add to get negative 40. I know you know them, don't you? Okay, hold that thought. Let's say I'm stuck. If I can't complete the diamond, do I just quit? No, let's just go to the box. What happens if you get a number and you can't think of two numbers that multiply to get to the top and add to get to the bottom? Okay, let's skip the diamond. Let's just go directly to the box. Now, okay. Can you see that this is either 4x and 4x, or it could be 2x or 8x, and then you may need to switch it? You could use the box to guess and check. Okay, now 25, I'm pretty happy about that one. I'm pretty sure it's 5 and 5. But it could be negative 5 and negative 5, right? Okay, what do we want to guess for 16x squared? Let's try 4 and 4. Yeah? 4x and 4x. Now, how are we going to know if it works? When we combine like terms, I want those two right there to give me negative 40x. So let's find out. 4x times 5 is 20x. 5 times 4x is 20x. This looks super promising. I may have gotten it on the first try. If this doesn't work, make a second box and try 8s and 2s instead of 4 and 4. Okay. I want my middle, I want to combine like terms and get negative 40x. I'm going to make these negative 5s, which will give me negative 20. It works. So just because, here's my point, just because you can't do the diamond, don't quit. Maybe go straight to the box. So this is 4x minus 5, 4x minus 5. Or 4x minus 5 squared. Okay, hope, hope, hope. Last one. Hang in there. I'm a little late. Okay, last one. Now, step 1, factor. Okay, so we did an ed puzzle this week. Have we done it yet? Oh, maybe it's Thursday. Maybe. Okay, hopefully it's going to really nail this down. Step 1, factor. Now, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to skip right to the factored form. If you want to see me factor it, you can stick around. X plus 3, x minus 2. Okay, factor the bottom. There's a GCF of 3, x plus 3, x plus 1. Okay, factor. Now, in the ed puzzle, he doesn't say excluded values. He says something different. But I say excluded values. Okay, what are the excluded values? So 1 is x equal to, if I have an x plus 3 on the bottom, my excluded value is x equals negative 3. Okay, what else? Okay, x plus 1 on the bottom, x equals negative 1. What about 2? The 2's like, I want to play, I want to play, I want to be an important excluded value. And what do we say to the 2? Nope. Sorry, you are not in the denominator. You don't get to play. Okay. What about the X? Nope. You don't get to play. It's the ones in the denominator. Okay. So what next? Now I say match or no match. He says in this Ed puzzle, which is a really good video, I really like it, cancel or no cancel. So I'm going to say, so the x equals -3, the x plus 3 factor, is it a match or no match? This is a match. This could be canceled, but it's not really gone, but it can be canceled. And what about the x plus 1? No match. Okay. And in this Ed puzzle video, it actually, you look at the graph and it's kind of cool. Okay. If it's a match, it makes a whole. Okay. If it's a match, it makes a whole. If it's no match, it makes oh, nice. A vertical asymptote. Are there horizontal asymptotes? Yeah, we're not talking about that right now. Vertical asymptote. So for me, that's what you're saying. Match, whole, match, whole, no match, asymptote. Actually, it's a vertical asymptote. And that's it. Oh, we're not graphing. Okay. That's like way more work. And right now, we would have to do test points. Basically, we would do test points, and that's how we would get the graph. Okay. Any questions? I told you you're going to do a couple on your own. 20, you're skipping. 14 and 15 on your own, use the chart. That's just like, yeah.
Like, what is it used for?
Okay. That's a really good question. Let's do an easy one. Okay, that does not come out. So f of x is x squared plus 7x plus 12. If you were to do quadratic formula, you would get x equals -3 and -4. You could factor and get x plus 3, x plus 4, and get the zeros. If you did quadratic formula, you would get that, which means these are the factors. Okay, these are the x-intercepts. So that means there's an x-intercept at -3, an x-intercept at -4. It turns out that in future classes, the x-intercepts are super important. That's why if we could factor, we can get the x-intercepts. If we can't factor, we need quadratic formula. Okay. Because like there's word problems, but you don't want to talk about the word problems because they're like, the word problem's harder than just doing it. Okay. So we're not going to confuse it. Besides, I can't think of one off the top of my head. Now a lot of them have to do with a rocket. A rocket is launched. Okay. What are the 2 points that are, when does it hit the ground? It starts at 0. So a lot of them look like this. A rocket is launched. When is it going to hit the ground? Okay. So that's the only one I can think of off the top of my head. Does that help a little? Okay. Okay. Zoomers, check in with me. Anything we need to see again, or we're good? Know that you can watch the video, fast forward, watch certain parts again. Yeah, Zoomers, are we okay? Or we need to see anything again? I know it's a lot. Yeah, okay, good. Make sure you do the ed puzzle. I think there's 2 ed puzzles for this week, and it covers the most difficult problems. And one of the ed puzzles, you're gonna need to show your work. Okay, guys and gals. Bye. Thanks for coming. See you soon. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Thanks for coming.